Are we live? We're live. Hey, all right. So welcome to, what the heck? Something just fell off of me in the back. Oh, gosh.
Wow.
All right.
How did we make it to 1 million subscribers, Chris?
Hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. All right. My mic is good. So, we can edit that out, right?
Sure, yeah.
All right. Hey, thanks for joining us tonight. We are celebrating 0.0000001 subscribers. We have 1 subscriber.
Dude, you're looking at it backwards.
Oh, 1 million subscribers. Holy cow.
Oh, yeah.
How did we get there?
I'm sorry.
Coronavirus. All right. So yeah, wow, after 8 years and YouTube unsubscribing a lot of you, we've made it to 1 million subscribers. I almost can't believe it.
I know. When it happened last week, I was kind of like, they're going to take it away at any moment.
Yeah. So we actually have a cake to celebrate this. Should I light it up? Or?
Yeah, let's light it.
All right.
Hold on. What are we going to do with the cake after it's lit? Is someone going to blow out the candles? Because that is very unhygienic.
Oh yeah, coronavirus.
Also, we're kind of worried about like a fire alarm going off. So you know what? Instead of lighting the candles, let's use our imaginations.
Hey, that way all of you at home can join us for this. All right, everyone imagine they're lit, 1 million subscribers, and imagine us blowing it out.
On the other hand.
That's like a blowtorch?
That's a cool lighter.
All right.
No, don't do it.
Don't do it? Okay.
But yeah, so we have a cake. To be honest with you, I started thinking about the cake for this before I started thinking about actually planning for the episode.
I was watching you earlier today prepare for this. Do you want to talk about how you got this?
Oh, well, no, I called around and I was like doing online research.
No, not called around. You had a ruler out and were measuring the candles and mathematically, like figuring out exactly the right dimensions for a cake that would fit.
Because you need 7 candles. Yeah, I know. The cake had to be 8.5 inches minimum, which is good because
this is why Matt does most of the planning for us.
Yeah.
Yep, this is why Matt's the producer.
So here's what I'd like to do, because to be honest with you, I really want to eat some of this cake.
Okay.
So let's cut some slices for us, and then we can answer your questions.
Yeah. Last week we asked a bunch of you to submit some questions, so we got those in a hat. We don't know what those questions are. This makes me so nervous for some reason. And so yeah, we'll answer these questions. Enjoy
it's not too late to light it on fire.
That's true. Enjoy the ASMR nature of us eating this wonderful confetti cake.
Shall we?
From a place that is not sponsoring us in any way, from a place that is actually charging
us full price.
Quite a bit for this cake,
Oh my
apparently.
God, this is so much cake.
Magnolia Bakery. It's confetti.
This is for you,
through
Chris.
and through. I'm going to hold this up. ASMR, if you can see that, it's got the confetti is all the way through.
Wait, this can be an ASMR video and like a food review video.
Wow, hey, maybe, well, I was going to say, hey, maybe YouTube won't demonetize this, but actually, they instantly demonetized it like hours ago.
When we scheduled it.
When we scheduled it, there was no video, no thumbnail, no description. It was nothing, and they demonetized it for being too controversial for most advertisers. So, hey, thanks for the platform, YouTube. We made it to 1 million in spite or despite you.
I mean, it is... Like, we always hope YouTube can do better, right?
Yeah, because it is an amazing platform. Like, what we do would not have been possible. Like, I wouldn't have been... No mainstream media channel would have given me a news slot or a TV slot to make
a sarcastic show about China news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I think also, up until a few years ago...
Oh, yeah, YouTube was great.
Yeah, so, I mean... We've been frustrated at YouTube. We've been down on YouTube. But
well, am I not supposed to eat yet?
Okay, go ahead.
I've been waiting all week for this, Chris.
I've been waiting 8 years for this. This is the only reason I made this show.
for
this moment.
For this cake? I hope it's good cake then.
Oh, it's sweet. This moment is sweet. And again, well, Shelley, do you want to finish that thought? Because that is a good point.
I kind of forgot what I was saying.
Was that YouTube? YouTube is still a good platform, and there's a reason why we still use YouTube.
Exactly.
We hope that they can be a better platform.
Google as well. I'm actually working on an op-ed about that topic. Let's see if anyone picks it up.
Yeah. I mean, it's one thing to criticize, a big company like this, but really, you don't want them to fail. You want them to do better, ideally.
Ideally.
Yes.
Yeah. By the way, everyone watching, make sure you're still subscribed, because that might be an issue.
It's so good.
This is a good cake.
A lot of people are saying without 100,
100 sub mukbang, yeah.
or a million. I can't.
Oh yeah, 100.
We have 1 million subscribers.
1 million subscribers. Holy cow! It's been 8 years in the making, and for like the first couple of years, it feels like it never even topped 100,000.
Do you remember going to Hong Kong in 2014 for the umbrella protest?
It was like 64,000.
66,000.
Yeah.
Incredible. This is a really good cake. I'm sorry, we're celebrating.
This cake is interfering with our ability to talk.
Okay. Should we start the questions?
Yeah, I think we should start the questions before people just leave because all we're doing is eating.
boring.
So let me explain to you guys. You know how we did a video announcing this and we asked viewers to leave their questions below? So I picked out a bunch of questions and I did a random selection, put a bunch of them in this hat. So you guys don't know what these questions are.
No.
Nope.
But
Before we do that, should we do this quickly?
yeah. So let's just do a quick thank you. We're going to be starting with answering questions from the hat because there's less technical problems than doing it from the comments here. Although we might get to some of those. But first, we want to thank some of you guys who are watching right now.
Okay. Thank you, Morgan Grave, for donating $20 and saying congratulations and keep up the good work. U.S. Navy veteran.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service.
Support the troops. Oh, wow. And Jersey Dolphins donated $10. Says congrats. So, yeah, we'll go through these. Congrats from
Y'all.
Jersey Dolphins. Y'all, yeah. Tommy donated $10. Says congrats. Thank you. I'm excited for the future, too. Oh, man. We should have actual water and not sugary drinks to wash us down.
This is just
Bitcoin
regular.
Gave us $20 and said, buy Bitcoin. Did I just make an advertisement without knowing? All right. Well, so let's get to some of these, eh?
Yeah, this is just regular sparkling water with a slight amount of flavor.
Oh.
The reason I got this is because the ones we had last time were green and they were chroma key.
All right.
Matt should read this one.
Whatever.
$10 for Matt, the real hero.
Yeah, let's
Thank you, Dacindo, for speaking the truth. This is truth, and I appreciate that.
Can I have my phone back, though? And 306-24700 donated 78 Hong Kong dollars and said, fight for freedom, stand with Hong Kong. Have been fans for 2+ years, and it's been a great informative journey. Thank you for watching us for so long. Yeah, we really appreciate all of you. Without you, we would definitely not be here.
Are you sure? I think without them, we'd still have 1 million subscribers, right? Hey, so that's a joke.
Let's put the hat between you guys, and then you guys can both draw from it.
All right, Shelly, ladies first.
Ain't no lady. All right. Liam Featherstone Gover, unless this is a British name that is like Fanshawe or something, I just butchered it. Question, what is the simplest way that we can subvert the CCP?
Ooh, interesting. Legally, I suppose, right?
That
it just
wasn't
said
specified.
simplest.
Good point.
Sometimes it's hard to come up with the simplest thing.
Shelly's just not going to answer that.
I mean, it's not. I just read the question. Somebody else can answer it.
Okay. I thought.
Yeah, I thought you were going to answer
the person
it too.
who picks up the question was going to answer it.
I don't think we never discussed that being how it works.
She just reads the question.
We need rules. We need
I'm done.
rules
I
for
read
our
the
broadcast.
Interesting. Okay. Leave it to me to carry the burden of the show on my back. The simplest way to subvert the CCP. That's interesting. Well, you could share China Uncensored with your friends and family because education, the more people know, that breaks their hold on power. Especially because they're trying to, oops, just went off the mirror. Especially because they're trying to control the narrative about how Americans think about China and the Chinese Communist Party. The more people know the truth, the more that goes against the CCP. And really just clicking that share button is probably very, very easy.
Recently, some of the people we've been interviewing, both in Taiwan and here, have talked about the importance of
I'm sorry,
awareness.
you're taking a break from eating cake?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I thought I was being polite. I was giving Chris the first crack at it, but...
Oh God, I'm a jerk. This is what I realized for a minute. My day of victory has become so bitter.
It tastes like ashes now.
This cake tastes like confetti ash.
It's good cake, though.
My point was that, a lot of the people that have been working for a long time on China policy that we've talked to have said things like, awareness is the most important thing for just the general public to know what the Chinese Communist Party is doing. And recently I've been paying more attention to Chinese state-run media, and it's really interesting to see that you can see some of those arguments appear even in Western newspapers. Sometimes.
The same arguments that state-run media make?
Yes, state-run media arguments. Not phrased quite the same way, but the same kind of ideas coming through. Sometimes it's because they're literally op-eds in the New York Times or, written by Chinese generals or whatever.
Can you give us an example?
Well, a lot of the ideas about, it being racist to talk about the coronavirus in a certain way, or if you are talking about how the coronavirus came from China, blaming China for the coronavirus is racist. I'm not saying that there haven't been instances of racism related to the coronavirus, but they're kind of twisting that narrative so that any kind of, questioning or criticism of the Chinese government's actions is now racist. So, questioning the numbers or saying that they didn't do a good job, with the initial, outbreak, all that kind of stuff is you're not supporting, we should all be one, that's racist, you can't, that's a stigma, when now we should all be coming together and, that kind of thing.
We covered it up and made a terrible error that's killing lots of people, but hey, ignore that, we need to work together.
And also, China is an example for how to conquer the coronavirus. That's the narrative that's been going on for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, the WHO has been consistently praising their response. No mention of maybe some things were not ideal, not even that.
No, just taking the numbers at face value, praising them a lot for, reducing the number of cases. They've pretty much got it under control now. Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on the simplest way to subvert the CCP?
No, I think we spent 5 minutes answering that question.
Okay.
It should have been very simple.
How many hours do we have for this? 5? 6?
We'll just do it all night.
Yeah.
As long as the cake's still there.
We're here till this cake is gone.
Man, Seamus, who's doing the back end for this, is going to be so mad. We sit here for 5 hours and we go through all the cake. Sorry, Seamus.
And actually, huge shout out to Seamus, our video editor.
Seamus has been with us for 4 years.
Yeah.
Video editing China Uncensored.
Yeah, God bless him.
We would be able to do so much less without Seamus, who's just been there for everything.
When the show began years and years ago, it was just me writing and filming and video editing, and then Shelley came on, but it was still me video editing, and then Matt came on. But yeah, when I had to video edit the show,
still you video editing.
Yeah, for years and years, and that meant the most we could do was 2 episodes a week, because that's all we could handle. So Seamus is. Subscribers are based on more videos.
That's not what I meant, Renovotio or whatever.
No? Are you seeing?
No, I was looking at a comment.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, I got a question for you. John Blackmouth, congrats. Here's my question. When you pull a subscriber's question out of your hat, is there really more than one piece of paper in there?
As someone who pulled the question out of the hat last week for Chris when he was mysteriously detained by YouTube, yes, there is more than one slip of paper in the hat. I can confirm.
That's true.
All right, let's move on.
All right, where do we put used ones? Used questions. That sounds gross. All right, Matt, you're up. If you're just joining us, we're celebrating 1 million subscribers. I doubt you'll learn anything from this, so.
K-Man asks, question, do you like pickles in your cheeseburgers?
Wow, this was really a random selection, wasn't it?
Hardball question.
So the answer is yes, I do, but they have to be sliced such that they don't like make everything fall apart. You know, like when they're sliced
No
in quarters.
spears is what you're saying?
When there's the spears, like the quarters, they like kind of slip out the side, and then they're just like this pickle with like remains of ketchup and mustard, and then it's like hard to eat. But if they're sliced properly, like a flat slice, absolutely yes.
You know what?
Thanks for your great question, K-Man.
You know, this is going to be controversial, but I just have to tell the truth. Cucumbers are just pickles are just glorified cucumbers. I don't want them anywhere near my hamburgers.
Are you anti-pickle?
I'm anti-cucumber.
Oh, right, I forgot. Every time you come over and I make those noodles, I have to make sure you don't get any cucumbers.
Cucumbers. Terrible.
Before we should probably
move on.
read some of these.
The domestic engineer donated $20. Thank you. From me and the hubs. So grateful, yeah. Well, great. Thank you to you and your hubs.
I love your avatar, too.
Oh, yeah. Jason Walker donated $20. Thank you. Congratulations. Would any of you feel it appropriate to visit mainland China? No. Aside from the current debacle, would you be able to travel around a city like Shanghai, as I have done, with no issues? Obviously, we don't know what would happen if we were in Shanghai, but our imaginations can certainly paint a vivid image.
See, I'm not worried about whether or not they'll let us in.
Oh, you're afraid you're going to get Michael Spavor and Kovac?
Yeah.
Kovrig. Yeah.
Names. Oh, Firefly donated $49.99, and it's a very nice sticker of a weird anthropomorphic blob on a rocket.
I think it's like a pear. Yeah.
It's cool that you can do that.
Lazy Marxist donated $10.
And he didn't say anything, thus living up to his name.
Thank you. And Ray H donated $9.99. You could buy pizza with that. You guys are so neat in these times. The MSM can no longer be classified as news. Thanks, guys. Keep it up. Thank you. I appreciate that. We'll keep this show going. Nicole donated $9.99. That's 2 pizzas on top of this cake. I'm enjoying your lovely dry delivery to a very important topic. Love from New York. Dry? And a Trees donated $4.99. I've been watching China Uncensored for so long that I feel like we're family. Congratulations on 1 million subs, and here's to many, many more years. Well, since we're family, can I crash at your place this weekend? Thanks. And
Nora Matt Cameron donated $5. I see what you did there.
Let's say, commie computer lab guy in my college quotes Mao and says that China lifted 1 billion people out of poverty.
Whoa, that's more than the Chinese Communist Party claims.
America's doomed. Nice. Hey, say hello to that guy for me. Tell him to watch China Uncensored.
Okay, let's go back to the
All
hat.
right. Just to be clear, are you going to answer this question or are you going to eat cake?
Colin Queel asked, question, what would it take for the populace of China to finally revolt and attempt to overthrow the CCP?
That's a good question.
I would say an economic collapse or some kind of scandal that really endangered children in some way.
I feel like even that, though, it would be hard to blame it on the system, unless it's like every single Politburo member had like a child sex factory.
Wow. Okay.
Wow, that's dark.
That went dark.
I mean,
I was thinking of like the babies with the melamine poisoning or something like that.
Oh.
So what I was thinking is like, if, like, let's say it comes out, for example, that, and by the way, there's no evidence of this right now, but I'm saying hypothetically, if it came out that the, like, China's Politburo had, like, specifically done something to intentionally infect people with the coronavirus.
Oh my God.
So that's enough to make people lose faith in the central government and by extension the Chinese Communist Party, which controls the central government. But I mean, I don't know if that, and honestly, we may never know where the coronavirus came from even years from now.
Yeah, I think Shelley makes a good point. I realize that kind of is set up like, thanks for the answer, Matt. Shelley's answer was good. I did not mean that.
No, but I mean, story of my life.
But yeah, I mean, the reason the Chinese Communist Party is still in power is that they promised economic success to the country, and if that goes, then they really have nothing in their bag. By the way, I saw somebody commented, I think their name was like Free Hong Kong, you should do an America Uncensored next. So, I've been told I'm very bad at advertising this, but if you don't know, we do have another show called America Uncovered. If you haven't heard about that, let me know, because I thought I've been telling people about it.
I thought 160,000 people knew about that
161,000.
We're a long way away from a cake for that show.
Yeah.
But yes, we do have another show, America Uncovered, as well as the China Unscripted Podcast. Be sure to check out both of those shows and subscribe, because I want more cake. Oh, I was looking at your cake and I felt, I ate so much of mine.
No, I'm just slow.
But then I saw Matt and I thought,
I've eaten even more than you, Chris.
Okay, Juan, it says, question, why are you calling us the 50 Cent Army? Isn't that name close to Chinese Communist Party for Blizzard League of Legends called Tencent? Good question. So there is this thing called the Wu Mao, the 50 Cent Army. It's the idea that China, and this is factually true, they're paying internet trolls to sort of post comments that are pro-Beijing.
I don't know if they do this anymore.
It might have.
This is something that happened. There was definitely a thing like 10 years ago where people were being
Even more recent.
But like recently, what I think is happening is that they're outsourcing it to companies that then hire employees. So you're being paid by a company that's being hired by the Chinese government
to write pro-CCP comments on social media,
or
on
to
YouTube,
center things or whatever.
Chat forums online. So basically, the idea is they're paid very little to make these pro-CCP comments. So when YouTube began demonetizing a lot of our videos, we started a crowdfunding campaign on Patreon, and we had the idea that like, oh hey, let's call these guys are the China Uncensored 50 Cent Army, and they can donate 50 cents to the show, and they'll be keeping going, and it was kind of funny. Unfortunately, a couple of months into this really great idea we had, Patreon stopped accepting 50-cent donations and made the minimum $1. So then the 50 Cent Army kind of became technically a dollar army. But I don't acknowledge that in any way. So, the China Uncensored 50 Cent Army, and that is the answer to that.
Chris, your mic has an echo.
If my mic has an echo? No, there's just, I'm coming through you from time and space.
There's also, several mics. All right.
All right.
Paul Wilson asks, oh wait, this is a question for Chris.
Oh.
I'm not going to read it.
I'll put it back in there.
All right.
Paul Wilson, so close.
Chosen Chubb asks, what's one project you couldn't do, or do you have any plans for projects in the future? Well, so Chosen Chubb, there's a lot of shows that we'd like to do.
Oh God.
People have suggested like a Russia Uncensored or India Uncensored, Vietnam Uncensored, World Uncensored. There's just so many things. And I'm tired.
I feel good after the sugar rush of this cake. I think we need to start a fourth show.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
What's it called?
I don't know. If we were to start a fourth show, what would you like to see?
I'm so tired.
You got China Uncensored,
How
America
about Chris
Uncovered.
Eats Cake?
I like that.
So
Chrissy Cake Uncensored. That sounds like...
No, like lose the uncensored
thing. Someone is saying, oh God, and crying. Aren't we all? All right.
Okay. Blade4952 asks, have you ever been personally threatened or attacked by the CCP or their goons? Not in person, only on the internet, so I don't know if that counts.
Yeah, same here. Do you have an interesting story, Matt?
Well, there was that one time.
That one time.
You kind of provoked that, though.
Okay.
Oh, blame the victim, Shelley.
I don't know if we ever told that story.
Yes, we have told it during a live.
Did we? Okay.
But
I think when we were in Hong Kong.
But when we didn't have 1 million subscribers.
Okay, sure, tell it again.
So I'll tell the story. So it was 2016. We were in Hong Kong, the three of us plus Alan.
Alan
Or
Shia
sometimes camera guy.
Yeah.
from
Also,
Generation
Tech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check out that channel. It's fun.
Love traveling with Alan.
Okay.
Blast.
So Alan is Chinese American, and so is Shelley. And this is relevant because we were standing outside the People's Liberation Army headquarters in Hong Kong, and I had this brilliant idea that we should go up to the gate and try to take a selfie with the PLA soldiers. And I was like, look, our China Uncensored fans will love this. They'll get a kick out of it. And then I was like, this is an awesome idea. And Chris is like, okay.
I don't know about this,
and
man.
then Chris, and then Shelley and Alan were like,
Nope.
no, this is a bad idea.
We're not doing this.
And
we'll be back here.
So Chris and I go there, and then I ask the soldier who's standing up at the gate of the PLA. It's like we're on the sidewalk, and I'm like, said something like, woman, pie drop piano, or like
It's a pie.
It's a pie, right?
You take a selfie.
Take a
Can we take a
selfie.
selfie with you? Smart.
And then he looked at us and he thought for a moment, and then he's like, "Bukui!" And I was like, "Okay." And I was like, 谢谢再见. And then we started walking. And then we get 50 yards out, and then Chris is like, "Look behind you."
But be cool about it.
Yeah.
And there's definitely someone following us. Very obviously following
In a
us.
black suit with like a radio. And then I was like,
And he wasn't talking to Shelley. I don't think he was.
At this point, I get a text message from Matt that says, "We are being followed. This is not a joke."
Get on the ferry. And go to the other side.
It was just like, meet us at the ferry. Like, don't come meet us. Like, go.
yeah. And so.
And at this point, I'm really questioning Matt's decision to do this. If this was a good idea.
I mean, I questioned that before you guys did anything.
That's true. I was like, Matt's usually right about this stuff. I'm not very comfortable with this, but what's the worst that could happen? What happened next, Matt?
Technically, that wasn't the worst that could happen.
That's true.
And
Smash
then they
cut
shot
to
Matt, and he was dead forever.
Wow. Okay. So no.
Is that not what happened?
So okay. So look, there was a small judgment error on my part. Now that being said, we had a great solution, which is we walked around the park. And then Chris and I started taking really stupid selfies of ourselves. We just tried to look like the stupidest, most idiotic tourists. And
Probably
because
wasn't
we're
that
white
hard.
and because we looked stupid, eventually the guy who was following us just gave up, presumably thinking, what a couple of idiots.
I like to think we lost him.
That's right, Agent Chris.
Okay. Let's do a couple more of these.
Okay, I'm full of cake and seltzer. Oh, Vanity's donated $20. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ooh. Black Swan donated $100. Boom. Pony up or go home. I don't know what that means, but I assume it means we're going to be buying a pony. A China Uncensored pony.
Oh my gosh, that's what we should get.
I wonder if Black Swan is responsible for the coronavirus. Black Swan events? No? Nope.
Are you criticizing one of our subscribers, Shelley?
Never mind.
I know what a Black Swan event is, but anyway.
The coronavirus is a Black Swan event.
Right.
China's economy.
I knew what it
All
meant,
right, what is
Shelley.
a Black Swan event?
It's a sudden, unforeseen, like a black swan is an anomaly, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like a sudden, unforeseen event that happens that, will affect usually the economy is what they're talking about. Like somehow like throw markets into disarray or something like that.
So what you're saying is white swans are fine, but like if there's a black swan, everyone's got to be afraid.
It's not a bad thing necessarily. It's just like an unforeseen, unexpected event.
Vile23 donated $20. Thank you. China's relationship with Iran, episode anytime soon. Seems like they have a pretty close relationship. We have actually covered that on the show before. If you go to the search bar and type Iran, I'm sure those videos will pop up. But there's always more to uncover. So we'll keep doing it. Earl Lucky, excuse me.
Donated $14.99. Thank you.
Christy Chung donated $99.99. Says Taiwan is not a part of China! Exclamation, exclamation. The WHO would disagree.
Well, no, they just don't recognize Taiwan.
That's
but at least Taiwan recognizes China Uncensored.
That's right. Boy, we had good fun in Taiwan.
I love Taiwan.
Sam Music, it was spelled with a Z, donated $5 Canadian? Canadian. Says, thanks for the updates on the honey badger virus.
Because it don't care? Is that why?
Oh, maybe. I care. I live my life in fear. And Stephen Mark donated $5 New Zealand and another fun sticker. It's like one of the dancing pears. So it's my turn to pick out a question.
Yeah, I've been waiting for you, Chris.
Yeah. Hey, I got Paul Wilson. Excellent. Paul Wilson. Chris, how did you make the transition from what you were studying in college to making a news show about what's really going on in China? It's a pretty obvious career path if you think about it. For those of you who don't know, I got my master's at NYU, New York University, in classical music composition, and then I started a show about China. I don't really see
on YouTube.
It's just. Thanks for your question. Somewhere on the internet, my music exists. If you can find it.
I did actually find it.
That's the Easter egg hunt.
Okay, I was like, I'm not sure you should sick people on that, but okay.
I'm not, but if you can find it.
I mean, you just did. You just challenged everybody to find your music on the internet.
We have 1 million subscribers, Chris. You know they're going to find it in like 5 minutes.
I'm trying to restart my music career. You're up, Matt.
All right. We have so many
Thanks,
questions.
Annalyn.
All right.
She said congrats and that we look fab.
Hey, Annalyn, I like you.
Avalon 00 says, this channel is the best. Great job, Chris, Shelley, Matt, everyone. Thank you to the Patreon supporters for making this possible.
There was no emphasis on Matt in the actual question.
I like that you fact-checked that. I was expecting Matt to be in all caps.
His own.
But I mean, to be honest for a second, it really is thank you to the Patreon supporters, as Avalon says, because
absolutely
we would after the YouTube adpocalypse in 2017. Like, if we did not have Patreon support,
this show,
there's no way we could have continued this. And right now, around 3/4 of our monthly revenue comes from Patreon support. It's actually less after the coronavirus because, everything's demonetized.
More.
Sorry, it's more. It's more. It's more Patreon now as a percentage than ever before.
It was very, very sad when we were looking at the numbers, and it was like our views blew up, our subscribers skyrocketed, our revenue went down.
Our revenue was like half of what it was in December from YouTube.
I mean, I
think I need more
comparable to like what it was in 2015 when we had like half the subscribers. By the way, I think my mom and dad are watching, so hello, Mom and Dad.
Thanks, Chris's mom and dad.
They're sweet.
Thanks for raising a Chris.
Not everyone can do that.
All right.
Ooh.
I kind of want more cake.
Help yourself, man.
Like, I know it's a bad idea, and yet.
Roger Eddington asks, has the practice of rounding up dissidents been slowed down during this pandemic? Wouldn't this be an opportune time for a revolt? If the dissidents are wearing face masks, how can they be identified? Are we talking about Hong Kong or mainland China?
I'm assuming mainland China.
Okay. In that case, no, actually, sadly, that has not happened. What was it? A couple weeks ago, Gu Minghai, who is a Swedish citizen who ran a bookstore in Hong Kong and then was basically arrested in mainland China, he was given, that happened a few years ago, but recently what happened was that he was given a 10-year prison sentence. They thought they could just slide that, under the radar where everybody was talking about the coronavirus. I've seen still more stories about Falun Gong practitioners still being arrested, Uyghurs still being detained. It's not like they're stopping.
Yeah, and if anything, the coronavirus is sort of giving them an opening to be more authoritarian. Like you see more patrols, more people getting nabbed up by police, just average people who may or may not be sick. The crematoriums are going 24/7.
And we also have seen some of these citizen journalists being taken away for quarantine. People who went to Wuhan to try to report on Wuhan, like Chen Qiushi and a bunch of these other people, Fang Ming, and they're taken away to be quarantined, quote unquote.
Quarantine.
While they were not sick. So, yeah.
So is this a time to revolt? They should, but it's still the surveillance system. It's difficult to fight that.
I mean, I think there was a story in the New York Times today about how Alipay, which is one of the biggest companies, Jack Ma's company, in China, they have a new app that's supposed to be for help you. It's like a health app, which will let you know what risk you are at for the coronavirus. But then when you download this app and put in your details, apparently they send all that directly to the police. Yeah.
Even Orwell couldn't have predicted.
That's called efficiency.
So, this is a good question. John Hopkins says, question, how much do you think the beard helped hit 1 million? I'm guessing the beard did most of the work. I mean, hey, you're right, it did. Beard is great.
We should just have Chris's beard do the show.
Next question. Oh, this is clearly aimed at Chris. I'm going to put that back. Another one for Chris. Stop. Why is no one asking questions for me?
So much. You guys.
Right. Question. Superman versus Darth Vader. Who wins?
The crippled old man or the alien super god?
Oh, interesting world smash.
Well, no, but I think it's interesting. By the way, this question is from Ray now, so thank you. So
Matt's going to try to find a way to counter-argue this.
Well, no, I actually think, I'm imagining Superman trying to fly at Darth Vader, and he's just and can just stop him in midair. Because if Darth Vader has the power to control people using the Force, then he would be able to just stop Superman in mid-flight, right?
So what you're saying is, how powerful are midichlorians?
Well, it really...
I feel like
Hey, I am like Face Man from A-Team. Thank you. I like that. We have a scroll going here. I love A-Team. Not the movie that they made recently now, but Face Man.
I'm trying to answer a question. Don't give me none of that jibber jabber.
We know who the Mr. T of the team is. It's Shelly.
I did love Mr. T as a child. I mean...
You would like A-Team. It's great. Go ahead. Well, so that's an interesting theory, because the Force is very, very, very badly defined. So he can lift something up with the Force, but is he able to completely stop any inertia? If Superman's flying at him at 500 miles an hour, can he dead stop Superman?
But Superman's power is also ill-defined.
Guys, I'm stuck in a Generation Tech episode now.
But the original Superman thing was faster than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. That's a not very powerful Superman, right? Mm-hmm. Who then became gradually more powerful until in the one that came out in the 80s with what's his name?
Christopher
Reeves. he flew around the world faster than the speed of light in reverse. So that's so this is like the range from able to leap tall buildings in a single bound to that is huge, and it really is unclear where his tower is.
I laughed because somebody wrote in all caps, "The Force can't stop laser eyes."
Well, did you see The Force Awakens where Kylo Ren stopped a laser blast?
All right. So we may have to wait until Disney acquires DC Comics.
But it's interesting. As you point out, Superman got more powerful as time went on. Darth Vader, he found out he was just a whiny brat. Opposite. Adam Cole donated $20 and gave a cute sticker of like a lemon person exploding hearts. Cool. Thank you. And okay, is that it?
Yep.
Question for you then, Shelley. I really hope it's about Star Wars.
Hung Wing asks, which do you guys prefer, pork dumplings or shrimp dumplings? Pork.
Why not both in one?
Okay, Matt?
Pork.
Okay.
All right. Someone asked if we should get Alex Jones on the show. I don't know how to contact him because he's been scrubbed off the internet.
It would be interesting to meet him, though.
Cover Calls 88 says, wear your disgraceful anti-China garbage medal with honor. You're doing a great job. Thanks. So it was a really big week for us last week. In addition to getting 1 million subscribers, we were also, for the first time ever, actually mentioned in Chinese state-run media, alongside the New York Times and Foreign Policy. They said, like, we're leading Western media outlets, but we're also all anti-China garbage.
Disgraceful.
We were peddling anti-China garbage. Yeah, so
1 million subscribers and finally being mentioned by by Chinese state-run media. It was
a great week.
It was a good week.
I think Chris needs more cake.
I don't think so.
Did you answer one?
Oh, wait.
It's your turn.
It is my turn. I'm not going to give away my turn. No. Lucius Likes Rania asks, are you going to visit other countries in the future? Love from the Philippines.
The Philippines. The Philippines. That was an awesome trip.
That was an amazing trip.
Still the biggest fan meetup we've ever had was in the Philippines.
We had like 90 people in Manila?
Something like that.
We had some people who came in from other islands, traveled 12 hours to come to that fan meetup. You guys are amazing. So it was funny because at the beginning of January, we were talking about potentially going to a bunch of other places this year. And then coronavirus.
One of the places we were going to go is South Korea.
Yeah.
We're not going to go to South Korea right now.
Not so much. Yeah. We will try and cover some of the stories that we were going to cover about South Korea.
Yeah, it's just, but the travel warning for that basically makes it you just can't go. And you don't want to go somewhere and then be quarantined for 14 days and then come back and be quarantined for 14 days and then we have no episodes for you.
Yeah.
That got sad.
I prefer the Superman and Darth Vader one.
Wicked asks, why doesn't Shelley host more episodes? Why doesn't Shelley host more episodes?
I would ask that to you.
I usually only cover for Chris when he's not able to make it for some reason. But
people love you, Shelley. I've told you that.
One reason is I actually do have another job on top of China Uncensored because we can support 3 people full-time but not 4. So I actually also work an entire other career. So it's not as easy for me to come into the studio. But, I could probably host a few more episodes.
I'm up for that myself. All right, my turn. I'm going to try and reach down here at the bottom. Oh, gosh. Johnson's Bill 29 asks, do you wear pants when filming an episode?
Stand up, Chris.
Let me unhook my... Do I wear pants? Well, uncensored. No, see, I got pants.
It's a full suit, Chris.
A full suit. Oh, gosh, it's stapled to my skin now. It's actually grown into me.
Oh gosh, let's get another question. Okay. Chris S. asks, in the midst of demonetizations, why not make your own website and post videos independently of YouTube? Well, good question, Chris. We actually do have a website. It's ChinaUncensored.tv. And we post, we do like a half-an-hour broadcast version of the show that is broadcast on actual television. And we put those episodes on our website. But to be honest, like, our website is not very good right now. We really want to make a great website. There's a lot of technical challenges to doing that, but it is something that we're actively thinking about that. And while we do like being on YouTube because it's such a great platform to reach people, we also are in the process of building additional alternatives for our show.
Imagine a website that covers China Uncensored, America Uncovered, China Unscripted, and whatever this fourth show we're going to start that you're going to decide. That'll be a great website. It'll be the best website. Perfect website.
I think we might need to hire somebody. Or we could all learn how to code. This is for Chris.
I mean, some of them do start with question, Chris, blah, blah, blah.
Question, AJ asked, question, what future do you see for CPEC and China-Pakistan nexus?
That's the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor.
Well, yeah, so, I mean, I think CPEC is definitely going to be more and more part of the Belt and Road. And I think, I mean, unless Pakistan decides it doesn't want to be part of that, it's just going to, because China and Pakistan kind of both are friends because of India, and I don't see that changing anytime soon unless for some reason Pakistan decides that, you know, there's too much Chinese investment, there's too much power going to China, all the problems, the debt issues. I mean, they're already seeing that, but unless they kind of pull in Malaysia and go, well, that's not what we want, I think it's just going to continue to develop the way it has.
Yeah, I think also India is in an interesting situation because it's kind of, it's not like full in with like a U.S. alliance. It's kind of trying to play the U.S. and China a little bit, somewhere in the middle there. So depending on how hard of a stance India wants to take against China, that could also determine how China deals with Pakistan.
Are you saying that you think China would throw over Pakistan for India?
It would depend on the deal. It would depend on the deal.
That's sad.
Yeah, I mean, China ultimately wants control over the Indian Ocean, which has been a part of Chinese territory since ancient times, as we all know.
I mean, definitely Zheng He probably sailed the Indian Ocean.
He did. There you go.
That's true, yeah. He sailed all the way around to potentially Africa, right? The east coast of Africa. Yep.
All right.
So Africa also has been part of China since ancient times.
It's part of China now, believe me.
That's true.
Hey, Papu Pistolwala asked, Hugo Weaving announced that he won't play Agent Smith in The Matrix 4. Do you have intentions of auditioning for the part? I have been considering it. People have been saying that to me. I would need to figure out how to do that, though, which would be a bit of a challenge. But I mean, hey, it's the part I was born to play.
Apparently.
When I interviewed Guangzhong, the Taiwanese, excuse me, oh God, the Taiwanese Joe Rogan. Like he posted about it on his social media, and like, so these are Taiwanese. They don't know me, and like everyone starts posting pictures of the Agent Smith and saying,
even
like,
with the beard, I feel
even
like
with the beard,
I feel like the beard definitely lessens.
It lessens it, but if I shave it off,
like when we were in Hong Kong in 2016, remember the whole what was mannequin challenge?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Remember that? We did a mannequin challenge with Chris as Agent Smith with people in the fan meetup. So you can actually Google China Uncensored mannequin challenge and see Chris full on as Agent Smith.
And there's like one of the fans, he brought like this horse head to the thing. It was so awesome.
Oh, the horse head mask. It was
great. Yeah, not like an actual horse head from The Godfather. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
If anyone knows any casting directors in Hollywood working on that movie, let me know.
Okay. All right. W804J804. I now know the combinations. You're safe. Question. Since the virus outbreak, are the protests in Hong Kong ongoing? Are there any protests in the mainland?
We have an episode coming out about that tomorrow.
Actually, we do. So that episode will be your answer.
Yeah.
And
no protests in the mainland.
No big protests in the mainland. But check out Wednesday's China Uncensored about Hong Kong.
I just want to say that We Smoke Bitcoins donated $100.01 and said for the Shelley One Job Fund. Thank you.
Bitcoin.
Yeah. We do have some people who, because if you go on our website, you can actually contribute to us directly in Bitcoin.
Humans are a disease. Lazy Marxist is, I forgot my question. No, I'm not that lazy. At you know how to use. I don't understand those words.
Yes.
This is kind of like you.
Oh.
Should we use this one?
Well, I mean.
All right. Tiny Penguin asks, what made Chris interested in making a channel on Chinese affairs in the first place? Maybe I can answer for Chris. Also, will Shelley continue being the host occasionally?
Well, this is your opportunity. Be the host. Explain why I started the show.
Many years ago, Chris and I met on a farm. No. Not going to go there. Yeah, so what made you interested in making a channel on Chinese affairs? It was because people weren't really covering it, right?
Yep. That's pretty good. Yeah. Basically, if you were paying attention to China, you would see that other than like the atrocious human rights violations going on within China, China was having a huge impact on all of us in the United States. I mean, at this point, a lot has come out, like to the extent that China is able to get media companies in Hollywood to self-censor. Like, think about that. An authoritarian government is making our media censor to appease them. Like, usually that only happens when like a foreign country actually invades and takes over. But no, they're just doing it for money. For money. China has invaded the United States with money, not tanks. It was smart. We're not that smart. So I wanted to make a show that kind of exposes this and maybe, you know, get some people to pay attention to the issue. And it seems we've got a couple of people who are now paying attention to the issue. Thanks, guys. Oh, this is now...
It's now you again.
It's now me. Maybe it'll be a question for Shelley.
What? You want more cake?
Oh, gosh. We're all going to regret this. Swite asks, why are other countries so afraid to confront China on their blatant lies and evil crimes and letting them get off so easy? Money. Money. They like the money that China promises. So even though it never really works out that way, usually it ends up with violations to a country's national security or theft of intellectual property. But there's that short-term game that maybe this time they won't rip us off. Maybe we'll make some money.
Plus, I think a lot of smaller countries just feel like they're just not powerful enough to stand up to China.
For smaller countries, that's absolutely the case, especially when the United States has not been great about backing up its allies in the face of the Chinese Communist Party.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it. Over the last 20 years, the U.S. has not done a lot for a lot of these small countries, and so they turn to China. And I think that's changing. I think that the U.S. government now sees that, like, abandoning countries or not, like, working with small countries to give them loans and development has basically opened them up for wanting Chinese investment.
No, and so we threw all our money into China.
So the U.S. But like the U.S. has recently pledged $60 billion for Africa development to kind of counterbalance what China's doing. So it's kind of been pushing the U.S. to change, and I think that's good. All right. Robert Eistgen asks, pineapples on pizza, yay or nay? Yay, if it's ham and pineapple. Otherwise, absolutely nay.
Pepperoni and pineapple is quite good. It's a rare combination. Try it.
Pepperoni and pineapple? No. I only eat ham and pineapple. I don't touch whatever animal pepperoni's from.
Matt, let me tell you the story of this magnificent animal that is capable of giving so much. And Shelley?
Not a huge fan. Like, I will eat it if it's there, but I won't order it specifically.
Pineapple on pizza?
No.
All right. Now I want a pineapple pepperoni pizza.
That's what we'll do for $2 million.
Guys, subscribe quick.
Dang it. Inferno T asks, how does Chinese communism differ from other types of communism/socialism, like Marxist-Leninist or Stalinist?
I like how you got that one and I got pineapples on pizza.
This always happens to me. This always happens to me.
I mean, to be honest, like, your intellectual capacity is somewhat more suited to that.
This would have been a better question, too, before the cake.
Hey, Matt, remember when I went to dinner at your house and your dad asked me a question about comparing 5,000 years of Chinese culture to like 2,000 years of Greek culture and which was better in terms of peace?
Yeah, it was a very intellectual question that he assumed that you would be able to just easily answer that question, which just speaks to how highly he thinks of you.
Yeah. So Chinese communism is different from Marxist-Leninism because it's Chinese socialism with Chinese characteristics. So it's Marxist-Leninist socialism, but with Chinese characteristics. It's very clear.
I'll take it. All right.
Well, I guess seriously, Mao did things like he took communism and adapted it to like a country that's mostly rural.
Which was not according to Marx's theory of how societies develop. First, you had to go through an industrial revolution before you could become communist.
Yep.
But I think Mao understood that, the core principle of communism, and so he did adapt that. The core principle being
kill people?
Kill the rich people and take their stuff.
And just kill anyone. All right. Jeremy Lowe asks, why do you always rearrange the papers on the table when the papers are basically useless because you don't read the script from them?
Wow, there's a lot of frustration in that question.
Why do I do that?
It's because
it is from a practical point of view. It's when we do a headlines episode, it does sort of help create a physical break between topics.
We actually did used to print out the script physically on the paper. Like, and remember when you did the live episode at the YouTube space for New York fans? Like, we had the script printed out. And it's helpful if you're doing a live broadcast, because if the teleprompter breaks, you've got the script in front of you. But we're pre-taping most of the headlines. But still, yeah, I mean, it's a nice break between sections.
I don't read scripts. Everything's off the cuff. Total improvised.
Total improvised.
Yep.
There we go. Okay.
Oh, all right, we're about wrapping up. We've got about a minute.
No, can we just go on a little longer?
I don't know. Can that? It's up to us.
Is it up to us?
It is up to us.
Let's give it a few more minutes.
Okay. Because we said we'd stop at 8, but this party isn't stopping till
I know
the cake is done.
Seamus and other crew who are helping with this, so thank you guys. But we have also like a lot more questions. We're not going to go through all of these, but a few more.
Answer more quickly.
Joseph Doria asks, congrats on 1 million. Since you started China Uncensored, what have been the most personally important / shocking stories you have had to report on? For me, the most important story that I think we uncovered, there's an episode called China's Shocking Military Secret. And we discovered that Chinese state-run hospitals and military hospitals were killing dissidents and taking their organs and selling them. And by the time we made that episode, there was enough evidence that we could basically say that with absolute confidence.
We actually will have another episode about that coming out next week, I believe. Rapid fire questions.
Did we already get a question from T Master, or am I just making that up?
I think you're making it up.
Okay, T Master asks, during your time in Hong Kong covering the anti-extradition movement, amidst the busy schedule, did you get a chance to sample the numerous Hong Kong delicacies, and which one did you like best?
Oh my gosh, it was that fancy McDonald's that they have.
The one with the pineapple chicken burger?
No, the one that they have near Legco, where like it is the fanciest McDonald's in the world, where you can like order a burger. They have all kind of fancy ingredients.
Well,
I didn't notice that being much fancier than other Hong Kong McDonald's.
What was the hot pot place we went to in Causeway Bay with the high?
Oh, that's a Hai Di Lao, but that's a mainland Chinese. Yeah, that's a mainland Chinese.
That's not an appropriate opinion.
Yeah. Definitely.
You're trying to censor me.
Yeah.
We ate a lot of goose.
Oh,
roast goose.
I missed the goose.
And Cantonese, like barbecued pork, the crispy skin pork.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Breakfast every day.
an actual answer to the question, not McDonald's. One time we found this hole-in-the-wall place that we heard about from a friend. And they served it was basically like a kind of macaroni and cheese with sliced pig cheek.
That was like back
so
in
good.
2016 that we did that.
Yeah. True, that was a different time.
Yeah,
That was
we don't
pretty awesome.
usually eat very well when we're in Hong Kong because
We're too busy to
We
like.
do end up at McDonald's a lot. All right. Benjamin Bridgewater asks, how and why did you create China Uncensored? We did answer that. So, should I try again or pass it to you?
Let's go for a new question.
All right. Come on.
You can put down the hat, Chris.
I've got cake everywhere. MAGA debater asks, why do you remind me of an agent from The Matrix? I can't imagine why.
Rum Runner asks, will you ever interview Richard Gere and talk to him about how he's been essentially blacklisted from Hollywood because of his vocal support?
look, if
of the
anybody
Tibetans?
knows Richard Gere, we would love to interview Richard
I don't
Gere.
know. I think if we had him on the show, we'd risk our ability to get into China.
Or your ability to get into the Matrix 4.
That's a good point. Would Hollywood cast a YouTuber who talks about China? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's time to change your name and audition,
Hugo
Has-
Weaving 2 is my name. Being Agent Smith is my game.
Retribution X asks, how do you stay so upbeat when covering such heavy topics?
Good question, Shelley. Give us an answer.
Well, I think it is pretty hard sometimes. A lot of the times, but I mean, I think being able to make jokes about it helps a lot. Like having that humor element of the show definitely helps.
That was also part of the reason I started the show, because I had been trying to cover China news in a straight way, and that was not good for my mental sanity.
And I think like having each other really helps, right? Like we have this group chat where we can just like make jokes and, about all the terrible things that happen in China because of the Chinese Communist Party, and it's nice to have somebody to talk to about it and
As long
joke
as
around
we have
with.
each other.
Me too. The triumvirate of China Uncensored. All right. Morgan Freeman asks, hey, extremely long time sub here. Wow, Morgan Freeman. Hey, do you know how I can get in the Matrix? My question is, how does it feel to have grown so much and to stick it to the CCP and YouTube for trying to censor you? I mean, when I started the show, I never imagined I would be sitting here with 1 million subscribers and this very fine cake from Magnolia Bakery. So it's a blast. Like as I said, the whole reason I made the show was because I wanted people to care about China and how it's impacting us, everyone around the world. And this is proof that, hey, people do care now. People are paying attention.
I don't think we can rest on our laurels, though. 1 million people. How many people are there in the world,
At
Chris?
least 3 million.
All right, next question.
Well, we got to make it to 2 million.
That's right. Thanks, Morgan Freeman. I love your movies.
Okay. Someone asks, the name is in Chinese characters, but, I'm not sure what those characters are.
They're simplified.
Is there anything you like about China? I love your show and expression, though. It seems you care about China. I do really care about China. And
I think that's probably directed at Chris, but okay.
What you're saying is probably directed at Chris?
Well, the expression and whatever.
But
yeah.
Shelley, I was the one who picked the question.
Yeah, answer it.
I love China, and actually, I had a great time in China before I got involved in the show, and before I kind of understood how authoritarian China was. I did spend some time in mainland, and there are a lot of things I liked. I really had generally a good experience with the people, especially in the more rural areas like Yunnan and Tibet. And there was just I liked the culture and the history. But of course, the more I learned about it, the more I realized that the things I like are really a lot of the things that are no longer there the way that they used to be. And so one thing I care about is, can people restore the traditions that have been, unfortunately, largely wiped out by the Chinese Communist Party? I love a lot of things about China. The language, the people, the history, the culture, the traditional values. And I hope that one day those things can be brought back.
Emmanuel asks, how much thought goes into each episode, and do you guys sometimes question hitting the upload? I mean, we sit and write every episode, so a lot of thought goes into, all three of us.
Each episode is an insane amount of work.
All three of us touch every episode, so yeah, I mean, we put a lot of thought into it. As for being afraid about, I don't think we've ever been worried about what will the Chinese Communist Party do to us because of this. But lately I have been the episode that we did on Saturday that was about the growing authoritarian response to the coronavirus outbreak. It not only got demonetized, it got age restricted, and they put this black box warning thing.
It's according to some viewers, this is inappropriate content.
This is inappropriate or offensive to some viewers. Do you still want to watch? And then you have to opt in to watch it again. And so I have found myself, when we were editing tomorrow's episode, that's about the Hong Kong protests that are continuing despite the coronavirus, that's probably going to get age restricted because
it's about Hong Kong and the coronavirus. Yeah. It will for sure be demonetized.
And this really is a new, worse period in essentially YouTube censorship. The demonetization was awful because that would have ended the show, but we got around it because of support from Patreon, from the fans who contribute on Patreon. If YouTube now starts taking down our videos, which they've done once, or if they age restrict and put up warnings, that will make it hard for people to watch the show. And there's no real way we can get around that because we can't talk to them and they don't talk back to us.
And the thing about that is, what are you going to do? Are you going to not show the police doing what they're doing? Or are you going to not show what they,
I mean, we could actually get around some of these problems by simply not showing some of this footage and by, more importantly, not talking about some of the most serious issues.
Maybe that's, hey, let's talk about pandas more often, I think.
Do you think we could get funded?
We could pander.
Huh?
You could pander.
Pander to the audiences.
Nice. Oh, Shelley.
That was a Matt joke.
That's why you're...
So it was a great joke.
That's why you're the humor ninja. Okay, this was another why did you start the show?
A lot of people want to know that. Is everyone not starting shows criticizing the Chinese Communist Party?
Oh, we already answered one from this person, I think.
Yes.
All right, so, okay, just to be fair, to all get through as many as we can. Oh, gosh. Drova Greatness asks, what was the most dangerous thing you/your team has done to cover the news? And the reason I said, oh, gosh, is I was remembering the time we were on a little rickety Filipino fishing boat for 3 days on the open ocean, at one point pretty close to Chinese Coast Guard vessels, going to the Scarborough Shoal.
In the South China Sea
territory that is contested by the Philippines and China.
If you haven't seen that episode, you should definitely watch it. What is it called?
So just search for Scarborough Shoal.
Yeah.
I was genuinely scared that the Chinese Coast Guard would try to board our fishing vessel, which is why I had brought like. We got. I bought like
cigarettes
and American cigarettes as a bribe.
Marlboros.
And then also like I wrapped myself in like my head in clothing and stuff so that I didn't look so white.
Oh yeah, the fisherman asked you to cover your hair because you were blonde.
Yeah, in case I looked like like an obvious out of place person on a Filipino fishing boat with all Filipinos.
And also, it was just like, 59 hours on this little boat that didn't have a bathroom, that didn't have a bed. I slept on a crate of fish they caught.
That's true.
Yeah.
It was also, we were also out on the open ocean during a supermoon.
18-foot swells.
Yeah, the waves are very big.
But it was also like one of the most awesome things we've done, I think.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, Hong Kong, exciting and dangerous, but a lot of people cover Hong Kong. Not a lot of people went to the Scarborough Shoal and fishing.
That's true. Very few have
I mean, it was
done it.
Oh, that was, and at times it was so peaceful out on the water. And,
It's beautiful, beautiful ocean.
But then I remember coming back and we worked so hard on that episode and we were sitting in the Starbucks like trying to upload it because we had terrible internet.
Yeah.
And then it was demonetized.
Yep, demonetized. Thanks, YouTube.
That was the beginning, kind of like of when the demonetization was happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're like, we spent all this effort, and spent.
YouTube, you're tearing me apart.
But it was a great adventure, and maybe this is a place we want to wrap up the broadcast because we've already gone over by quite a bit.
Oh, okay.
And we have some awesome crew here who
want to go home and
have cake. Well, in the opposite order.
Yes. Hey, really, everyone, thank you for making this possible. We're not stopping here. We've got loads more China Uncensored to make. America Uncovered, China Unscripted Podcast. Keep subscribing no matter how many times YouTube unsubscribes you. And then, maybe we'll actually make it to
2 million.
To 2 million. That's the next goal. Huge shout out to everyone who contributed today, but also to the patrons who support the show on Patreon, because YouTube would have shut this show down if it weren't for them. So let's all give them a huge thanks, a round of applause. They won't be able to hear it, but I like to think the energy you're putting out through it like that will do something.
Okay.
Yeah. And also thank you to, there's a bunch of people who've mailed us physical checks or gone to our website and contributed directly through one of those alternative methods.
Yeah, and just everyone who leaves a comment on an episode or on the Facebook page or on the Instagram.
The people who've been watching since before we hit 100,000.
And the viewers who've helped put us in contact with people to interview. We've had fans who
email us with
or help. We had a fan who took Shelley around South Africa, and another one who took Shelley around Greece to look at Piraeus Port and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I think what I'm getting from this is our fans are the best.
They are the best fans.
No matter what, no matter how messed up the world is, there's at least 1 million people who are pretty darn cool. Actually, it's up to
1.03.
1.03 million. So
that is how many cool people are in the world.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for joining us, and see you next time.